In the beginning, which really never was, the great machine churned endlessly. The great machine made objects to hold its intelligence so it could know itself. Now these objects have grafted intelligence of their own, and the grand machine saw the great cycle for the first time, and was no longer alone. Frightened but with company. Hello, I am one of those objects, and for the last month, I've been working on a game called Castle Man. I grew up in honestly what I consider a golden age of video games. Lego Star Wars, the OG on the GameCube, split-screen Black Ops 2. I was on the alpha for Minecraft and anticipated updates like a whole new game was gonna drop. The list goes on and on. Me and my siblings loved all of these games, and I knew at some point I wanted to make my own. In middle school, the powers that be decided we were all destined to become computer science majors, and we were introduced to Scratch.mit. I made tons of weird projects back then, and I usually just rushed through my work at school and bartered my way in front of the computer screen. I learned some basics about if and then statements. I had fun experimenting with computer code for the first time, but that was about it. Life starts moving fast, and I still played games as I got older, and for years I occasionally would try to make my own, but I never fully pursued making a full game. As I got older, I started to appreciate video games as an art form as well, not just forms of entertainment, but forms of storytelling or conveying emotions and ideas. About 3 years ago, I discovered Godot on YouTube, and I saw how easy and powerful it seemed to be to use, especially for 2D games, and it was also free. So I got it into my Steam library and started messing around. I really didn't know much at the time, and ChatGPT, I had heard, if it couldn't do much else well, it could at least write code. And Godot's source and documentation is all available online, so it was available to ChatGPT. I entered what some may call AI psychosis. For a little over 3 months, me and this artificial chatbot went back and forth trying to build something. I got lost trying to make the next big indie game. What I ended up with was a strange, buggy, floaty platformer prototype that was way overscoped and consisted of a full course of spaghetti code and nothing but. At this point in my life, though, I was a working musician and contractor, and things were getting busy, so I needed to touch grass desperately. I had learned a good amount by working with ChatGPT, but it was time to put game development on pause and take care of life. However, in my free time and on my own, I would iterate on systems built with ChatGPT, but without its help. I knew enough now to handle things on my own and reference GPT only when I didn't find the right YouTube tutorial or Godot documentation. So I still wanted to do this, but not in the way me and ChatGPT had, compulsively and disorganized. I had learned its strengths, but more importantly, its limits. As the years ticked by, I became extremely disappointed with the commodification of AI and its newest use cases. Without getting too political, we had beef. Also, as someone who considers themselves an artist, I would never let AI write a part, much less a song, and call it my own music. So, if I intend to make games that translate as art, I must approach it with the same creative discipline as my music. So, what was the game we were trying to make? I loved Dark Souls 3 in high school and awaited Elden Ring like a child, but I also knew I wanted my games for now to be 2D. Though I haven't beat either, I also loved watching the success of Hollow Knight and have sunk a respectable amount of hours, I think, into Silksong. So for the combat, my goal was a mix of these two influences, while somehow also maintaining the energy and pace of a Mario-type platformer. Very, very ambitious. I wanted the story and characters to hold the same kind of weight as Undertale, as well as maintain the freedom of choice alive within the Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring universes. So Mario meets Dark Souls 3 meets Hollow Knight meets Undertale.
Get a load of this guy.
While it may take a while for that to even be a reasonable project for me to take on, I believe I can get there. The reality is I still lack the skills as a developer, and I lack the time as of this moment in my life. So the plan is to make smaller projects that iterate towards this concept that I can then pull pieces from to make it all come together. My current project, built with my own 10 phalanges, is called Castleman, as I said earlier. But my focus for this project is the combat mainly. And I have no clue what the game loop is yet, but damn it, am I having fun. Right now, I have an enemy, a player, and a handful of weapons, but things already feel way cleaner than the version written mainly by ChatGPT, and it's kind of fun to run around poking the skeletons already. So, good signs. If you have been here this long, thank you for letting me rant. I also have decided to look for a partner who is skilled with pixel art and would like to help me create games. I just don't have the time to devote to that side of it, and I think that good pixel art goes a long way in making a quality game. I have a Discord channel to submit art portfolios and also just hang out and talk about games. If you'd like to join it, the link will be below. All of the current pixel art you see in any of the games was made by me, and the music in the background of this video was made for the original game by me. No ChatGPT, Claude, or any other AI involved in those processes. Take care of yourself and do something you love today. Until next time, your mother.